do is starting with a full body foam roll sequence. And Tyler's gonna start with the shins first. So Tyler, go ahead and get that on your shins. So with this, you wanna be super careful. You wanna make sure that you're using pressure that is comfortable for you, but also stresses the muscle enough to relax it, to allow it to release. If it's too much and it hurts, stop and don't do it that way. There's other tools that you can use for the shin. He's crossing his leg, which puts more pressure and weight onto that shin to allow it to release even more. Let's have you do your left one. So you can see how he's angling his knee just a little bit inward so that you can get to this outer part of the shin. And how's that feeling?
I love it. Also, like, when my shins are super tender, I'll just go both at the same time.
Yeah.
Because then the pressure is evenly distributed.
Yeah. You can also just do one at a time and keeping one knee on the ground. So let's show them that way. So if you're putting one knee to the side of the foam roller and just using this part really gently. If this is how you need to start, if your shins are super tight and it's painful, this is how you're gonna start, in the softer way. So we started with the accelerated, this is the softer way. Okay? All right, so at the quads, you're always gonna start about 2 inches above the knee. You don't wanna do anything around too close to the knee because there's too many small muscles around there that you don't even wanna mess with. So with the quad, you'll see that he has one knee down on the other side of the foam roller, stabilizing his body, and this whole leg is flat on the foam roller. So he's working the front quadriceps right now. You can bring this all the way up into the hip flexor, however you feel comfortable. Again, if it's painful, stop, back off. There's other tools we can use for this. It should be to the point where it kind of hurts so good. Also, you're gonna make sure that you're breathing with this, taking deep breaths. The whole point is to bring circulation and oxygen to these muscles to allow them to open up and expand and release. Good. So with the calves here, there's multiple different muscles in the calves. So we're gonna start with the back side of the calves going up and down. You can do that once or twice, then shift to like the middle part in between the soleus and the gastrocnemius. We're gonna do in between those to open it, remember to breathe so you're getting that oxygen and blood flowing through, and then slightly turning your foot inward on the next one. Once you're turning your toes inward, you're gonna be hitting the soleus. I would say going up and down 1 or 2 times for each row. So again, let's show them really quick. The outside part right here, okay, in between those 2 muscles, and then on the inside part is where we're focusing on the calves, okay? All right, hamstrings, I'll also say, no matter what you do, everyone when they first start doing this, you're gonna feel awkward as hell doing this. It's just part of the game. It's part of the jam. So you'll see that he's working all the way down until the knee. So this one, there's less things you can mess with that are small down in the back here. So you're gonna wanna really put as much pressure as you can. The hamstring it's pretty tough, so it can handle a lot. In fact, if you need more, you can cross that leg over the top of the knee and it adds more pressure and weight to get deeper into that hamstring. These little guys, I always like to try to make sure they're kind of matched up with the real meaty part of the hamstring and the quads so that it's really getting into there. This smoother part is better to have towards the top of the hamstring that meets up with the buttocks because there are more tendons in there that you want to be a little more careful of. So making sure that this is here in the meat of it, and then as he keeps going, this smooth part is here. Good. All right, so for the IT band, you're always gonna wanna use something smaller or softer. So the IT band runs from the knee all the way up into the hip where the TFL is up into the hip. This is usually super, super tight on people, especially if you're a runner, dancer, boxer. If you're active in general, this is gonna be super tight. It ends up causing a lot of hip and low back pain. So we really wanna focus on this one. But again, we don't wanna cause any pain to this. If it's too tight, You are not gonna foam roll this at all. We're using this smaller, softer one because it's not gonna get as much pressure into that spot. So Tyler, go ahead and hop onto that side. Again, making sure that you're not at the bone, you're below that hip bone, rolling all the way through to about an inch from the knee, as far as you can take it. Good. And how's that feel?
Special.
Yeah, this is usually the most intense part that you can foam roll. So again, I can't stress this enough. If it's painful, stop. There are other tools we can use in this spot. Good. So same thing. See, you can see how he's stabilizing his body. He is having to use his abs and his arms and this leg to stabilize the whole body to make sure that it's straight. He's not throwing anything out of whack. He's really just stabilizing everything to make sure that just the IT band is able to relax enough to be released from doing this procedure. Good. On this one, you're gonna lay kind of to your side, now on your elbow. Actually, I'm gonna have you pull this out a little bit more. Yeah, good, perfect, just like that. And you're going to slowly use this knee to rock towards me and move your body this way. And then, nope, you're gonna stay just like this and dance kind of back and forth.
Oh.
Now this should be between the ribs and the hip where the QL lives.
I've never done it like this.
Yeah, you can even go, it looks like you might be able to go up, like roll yourself, maybe down, nope, up.
Oh,
right there, yeah, there you go. And then rocking this body towards me, using this leg to stabilize, same thing. Is this feeling okay?
Yeah.
Is it comfortable?
Yes,
okay.
that's great.
Making sure that you're breathing through this. You want to bring the blood and oxygen to these muscles. This is the QL. Again, a lot of pulling can happen in this area. Sometimes if there is any issues with the lats pulling, releasing the QL helps to release the lats. So we always want to try to focus on this. Again, if this is uncomfortable or too painful, we can use the ball at a different angle to make this one happen, okay? So this one is tricky. Please only do this once you've tried foam rolling a few times. The lats, let's show them where the lats are. So we're working this muscle right here, which it can pull all up into all of this, okay? It can affect the neck and shoulder, all of that. So we're gonna focus on this guy right here, okay? So when he lays down, he's gonna go nice and slow and easy to make sure that he's in that spot first. He's gonna lay on the flatter part of the foam roller to make sure that these little pokey guys aren't doing any damage into this muscle. Okay, so when you're ready, nice deep breath. So you can just kind of lean into it first to see how it feels. Tyler's done this spot before, so he's going to get into it and get it to release. This is a really big muscle group, and it feels amazing to get this release because it can help every single part of the back, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the chest, everything. Again, if this is painful, stop. You can use a ball in this spot just as effectively, if not more effectively.
Like a tennis ball, racquetball.
We're gonna use an alpha ball actually today. And you can even take it just a little bit further into that armpit there, just to see if there's anything else that wants to release in that spot.
Terry's is always tight.
Yeah. You can even use your hand here to rock yourself back just a little bit, if that's comfortable. Rock back and forth, nice and slow, breathing through it. So again, he's just massaging these muscles to get them to release using this foam roller tool. Okay, good. So we're gonna have Tyler do the back now. The most important thing about this part is that I want you to make sure that you are not starting on your low back. The low back is usually the most susceptible and vulnerable, okay? We don't want any injuries to happen there. Also, most people already have vulnerability in the low back, so we don't wanna over arc it or put it in a position where other things are gonna have to take over, okay? So we're gonna start at middle of the back. You'll feel where there's less muscle to be foam rolling anyways, or that the foam roller can get to. So once he's at the middle back, you can roll towards the lower part of the back until it feels where it's not gonna do anything else. Don't roll past that part. So I would say from where his shorts line is, it's about 2 inches here. So we don't want you going past this part. So right here, right there is where I would say not to roll anymore. This part of the back should not be messing with the foam roller, especially if you're a beginner. So then he can start with his arms like this. Eventually he can open his arms out or up, but first we're gonna have him just roll straight like this. And remember to breathe. Good. So once he's getting up to the top, you'll notice that he's lifting his hips up off of the ground, using his feet to stabilize him. Again, this can be a little tricky for a beginner. It can feel a little awkward, but it is important to raise the hips in order for you to move up and down in the roller, but also in order to add the resistance so that there's actually pressure being applied to the muscles. These guys, it doesn't really matter where these fall into, but you'll feel once he gets to the pokies that it's getting into the muscle a little deeper. You can roll pretty high up into the shoulders to release, yeah, all the way up into, I go all the way up into the neck. But remember how he's keeping his body. He's not, if anything, the highest that he gets to is a straight table where his body's completely straight. That's it. He's not arching his back. He's using his legs and his back is just lifted up. That's it. All right, so now let's have you open your arms out to the sides. So doing this is just moving the muscles around so that those massages are getting into different parts of the tissue, different parts of the muscle. Go down one more time, and we'll have you put your hands up to your head. Good, and when you come up, lift your, yep, just a little bit, right there, a little bit down. Yep, right there, so stay with that takeoff and keep going. Perfect, good. So once he gets down to that lower part, you can see that it's a little bit harder to hold that posture, which is totally fine. You don't have to go that low if it gets too hard. So right now he's doing his neck. This is the absolute best thing in the world to do your neck with. This kind of gets into the nitty gritty. Don't worry about going over the spine. You don't want to do this too hard, but getting these into the base of the neck here is super helpful in releasing the traps, everything in the neck. So this feels really good. How do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah, this is really good. Okay, and then I'm gonna have you get up on the back one more time and go real slow. So with this last round, what I would say is if you've already done like 30 seconds of this, on the last round, you're just gonna shimmy your body just a little bit, just shimmying so that you're getting a little bit deeper into the muscles. Just shimmying, and then when you've gone too far, that's good. And then shimmy back down, nice and slow and breathing. You are using your abs in this position. Obviously, Tyler's good on that. If it gets to be too much, then you can back off. But this just really helps just get a little deeper and bring that tissue. It gives it a little more of a shake up than just a regular up and down. Perfect. Okay. You can do your neck a little bit more. We'll call it into your calves. So good. Okay, so right now we're gonna work on the adductors with this foam roller, okay? Again, this gets more awkward and fun every single time with every single move we make. The best way I've found to do the adductors is to use this. You're gonna push it all the way up against your sits bones and as close up into there as you can, and bring your feet as close in as you can. If you can't handle this much pressure, take your feet out a little bit, that's fine. But if you can handle the pressure, bring those feet in. And then you're just gonna slowly rock your hips back and forth. Just do a very slow, gentle dance, okay? Very slow. And we're gonna do this for 30 seconds. And you can go as far back as you can each side. What just popped?
That was my knee.
Okay. So she's already got things releasing.
Things are loosening.
Yeah. So this is perfect.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah. Another trick that you can use, let's have you come back to stable, is you can just gently move, bring your body forward towards me just a little bit. Okay, this is gonna bring you further into the fascialis. It just brings you into another set of those adductors. And it feels really good. Yeah. so let's make sure that you're keeping your back straight and hips straight. Yep, I know it feels really good. You just want to move with the groove, but we want to make sure that we're not tweaking anything either. There we go. And again, 30 seconds with each of these moves. And then you can do this too. You just gotta work it out, bro.
Figure it out. Move
All right.
around.
And so let's have you take a breath. You're gonna drop it down just about an inch or so. This is just gonna hit the adductors at another angle. Bring those feet back together, and then do the same thing. Rocking back and forth. Nice and slow, breathing with each move. Remember, we're bringing that blood and oxygen to the muscles that need it the most. Perfect. Yes. So she's going pretty far, side to side. You may not be able to do that, which is totally fine. You can just do a simple rock back and forth. She can take it this far. Whatever you can do is fine. Don't push yourself. It should, again, hurt so good at the most. No pain. No actual pain. Yep, bringing it down about an inch. This is hitting a whole nother set of muscles in this spot. Again, bringing your feet together as closely as possible and rocking the hips back and forth. Even in this position, if she wanted to get a little deeper or into the frontal part of those muscles, she could just gently rock her body forward and rock the hips side to side again. You can do this with any foam roller, but I would say that the ones with the ridges on them, just especially for the adductors for some reason, feel amazing. They just get deeper into the nitty gritty of all of it. Okay. I would say that's probably the furthest you could go. I wouldn't go closer to the knees. You don't really need it down there in the adductors anyways. So. You can even pull your arm up too, if that's comfortable for you, to add a little bit more pressure. So I'm just gonna add in here too, there's gonna be times where one side is way tighter than the other. Again, just listening to your body. If it is screaming more loudly, it's fine to just have done the other side and lay off on this one or use a different tool on this one. You can also, you'll see Tyler adjusting to where it feels good, he'll lean into it. Where it doesn't feel right, he'll kind of pull away or adjust his body. That is what's super important about this, is that as you get to know how to do this, you're adjusting to what feels good. So again, it should hurt so good at the worst. It should not go beyond that.